All right, so I had this great question from one of our clients that led a discussion that I think will benefit a lot of people out there. And the question was simply, do I have to eat fat in my diet if I'm not hungry? Let's take a look at this because I think the visual is going to help explain a lot about nutrition on the whole. A lot of people have already come to believe that if you eat fat, it makes body fat. This is absolutely false. But this led to fat-free products, lots of them. And here's where we ran into a problem, because in actual fact, the culprit that makes body fat are the processed carbs. So of course, food manufacturers started to produce a tremendous amount of fat-free products, which was most unfortunate because this is what clearly has led to a massive increase of of body fat. And then what made matters even worse was we went from processed carbs to artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners, by the way, undoubtedly lead to excess body fat. Here's what you have to know about consuming foods. Let's take two groupings here. Let's say you're going to eat 1,500 calories a day, which is certainly not a starvation diet. And let's take two columns. All right, so let's take two columns of 1,500 calories here, 1,500 calories here. But here you're eating a lot of processed foods, which processed foods, just so you get this, these are not food. These are food-like products. Over here, let's say you're equally eating 1,500 calories, but everything you eat here, everything, is actually food. Real vegetables, real fruits, meats, fish, poultry, but actual food, right? So we're looking at nuts, fruit, vegetables, meat, fish, poultry, eggs. This is real food. When you go to the supermarket, how do you know that this is real food? You will not see any of these have a food label on them. None of them. Why? Because it's real food. It doesn't need a food label. Anything with a food label on it has the food label on it because it's not food. It's a food-like product. What's the problem with that, you say? Well, look at it like this. Let's come up here and take a look. Okay, so inside the body, you've got tons and tons of cellular activity, cells. You've got fat cells, muscle cells, skin cells, you got all kinds of different cells in the body. All right, so these cells require nutrients. Equally, you've got various organs. These cells require nutrients to function properly. It also requires H2O, not H2O-like products, actual water. Let's take a look at what's going on. Let's come back down here for a second. Let's say you're consuming food-like products at a tune of 1,500 calories a day. Let's go back up here. Here, you're feeding your cells, your body, on a molecular level. But the problem is with food-like products, you might be filling this up 30, 40% of the nutrients all the cells in your body require with food-like products. Now, if you come down here, if you're actually eating food, this is real food with real nutrients, with real calories, this is all real. This is what this functions on. Now keep in mind, what you're actually seeing there is what we like to refer to as a human body. The human body requires nutrients. And if you're giving your body 100% of the nutrients it needs from real food, you're satisfying this. You become satiated. With food-like products, you don't become satiated. Actually, what happens is, on the molecular level, you're starving. Your cells don't get what they need. This is no longer an issue of calories. Your cells are starving on the molecular level. And if they're starving on the molecular level, guess which message they give to your brain? Pretty straightforward. They simply say, eat. We're starving. If it's nutrient poor, but calorie rich, you inevitably will become fatter. Could be the exact same caloric count as when you're eating real food. The exact same calories over here of food-like products will not feed your body at the cellular level. So you will inevitably be telling yourself, eat more. What you need to do is very straightforward. It's not complicated. Come down here and get it. Nuts. Guess what? Nuts are very high in fat. Almonds. I'll give you a very good example. Almonds, 92% fat. But guess what? Good fat. Essential fat. Avocado. Fat. Good fat. If you don't consume essential fats, olive oils, and the like, fish, like salmon is very high in fat, but it's a good fat. If you don't consume all, not some, up here, all the nutrients that your body needs, you will starve yourself at the molecular level. Please get this. This is not about, oh, how many calories are in this? How many calories are in that? Stop thinking so much about the calorie count and start thinking, am I eating food or am I eating food-like products? If you're feeding your body with the nutrients that it needs, then it will assimilate all those nutrients into here. And here's an interesting thing. The human body, if we take a look at this and assume that these are fat cells, the human body has an infinite capacity of expanding fat cells, regardless of how many fat cells you probably already have. So what that means is when you're consuming a diet that is low in nutritional value, guaranteed it's going to be stored in your fat cells, and your fat cells have an infinite capacity for growing. So a low nutrient diet almost guarantees you will be storing excess fat, whereas a diet rich in foods will feed you on a cellular level, so you won't get that message that you're still starving. So it's very simple. Let's come right back down here again. Take a look at it. Here is what I need. This is what you need to do. Food. Start eating real food. Stay away from food-like products. But if the mainstay of your food intake is actually food, this is where you're going to see that battle, that ongoing battle you keep having, start to fade as your body actually starts to get the nutrients it needs to succeed.